I suddenly came awake. I dozed off, standing guard at my little window, and I heard the zombies banging on the walls. I could see the sunlight of day 9 coming in through the window. Wasn't sure what to do. Went to the storage box, and I realized I could grab everything except the extra stone pick and not be encumbered. So I grabbed that, and then waited for a moment to see if the zombies would break through. I'm not really known for my patience, so I decided to go down and take a look for myself, see what they were doing. Didn't seem like they were breaking through the doors. All the doors seemed solid. I noticed some cracks in the wall. Not sure why they were trying to come through the wall. Pulled out my trusty sword and got to work. Is this one also trying to break through the wall? Or the window? Just wasn't sure. Whatever he was doing, it seemed like I had enough time to finish looting some of the house I hadn't touched before. Of course, that immediately made me encumbered again, but barely. Ah, there we go. Busting through the wall too. So one extra zombie out there. Try to draw her attention, but ended up killing her with one shot with my arrows. So I decided it was time to head back to the base. I had work to do. It was time to start fixing up my base. Needed to get that furnace done. I'd already made all the basic workbenches. Next up, I needed to make the furnace, the blacksmith forge, and I was thinking about the tailor station, so I'd have some more storage. On my last trip, I'd made just enough for one honey, but of course by staying out overnight, I'm sure my infection went up by over 5%. Today I was going to need to see if I could find a way to really take that infection down or get rid of it. Yesterday when I was running towards the home base and ended up staying at that farm, I'd noticed there was I don't know, a beekeeper's house or a house with beehives. I don't know, but I kind of remembered where it was. I think today I was going to go back by there and see if I could get a bunch of honey and really take a chunk out of this infection. But I also need a large stone for the furnace. Put down the cement bags that I'd picked up whole yesterday and dug into them, but then I heard a visitor. Oops. Took too much of a shortcut. Have to watch out for that. I did check the schematics for the furnace for the Taylor station and for the blacksmith forge, and I was short on materials for all of them. But I think the one I was closest to was the furnace. All I needed was some large stone. I completed my book for bicycle maintenance. Now, out in the field, if I ran into a bicycle, I could see what materials it needed to be repaired, and I'd be able to repair the bicycle. Next up would be the mini bike. I would need to study the schematic or write the schematic for the mini bike, but I wouldn't be able to do that until I'd learned the bicycle, so I had to take that step first anyway. Whether I end up repairing a bicycle or getting one as a reward for my missions, we would see. So I had to put away some of these plastic bottles and jars I was carrying. I think I was carrying about 50 or 60 of each of those. That can really weigh you down. I didn't really need that many. Yeah, so the only thing I needed for the furnace was the large stone. I also decided to make the wood frame blocks to complete the ladder on the fire escape. It was a lot easier for me to access the base by hopping on that fire escape instead of coming up the stairs every time. Plus I didn't have to do that kind of diagonal jump to get past the horde base blockade, which meant I could fortify that a little better going forward. But yeah, with the furnace, I could make metal ingots, iron ingots, and then I could make bricks out of clay. So having that would be a really great start. Of course, I wouldn't be able to make plates out of the ingots until I had the blacksmith forge. So I uncomfortably climb down the ladder. Figured 3 blocks should be enough. Noticed some movement off on the side. Sounded like there were some visitors. Oh, maybe a few more than I thought. And I was out of ammo for my pistol. Good first test for my ladder. Up, skip, and a jump, and I was ready for any zombies that came in after me. Need to expand those stairs down there too, so the zombies didn't get caught on that railing. Felt so much safer having this horde base within my base. Now if there were any large wandering hordes that came by, I'd be able to tackle them in a safe spot rather than go out there and fight them in the open. They could surround me or run me down. The more I used my sword, the more it felt like probably the dullest piece of metal on the planet. I was really hoping at some time in the near future I would find a better bladed weapon. Whether it was sword, machete, better knife, something better than this, because this was not doing a lot of damage. The bleeding helped, of course, and of course every now and then getting a headshot that one-shot the zombie, that helped, but that was very rare. Yeah, I was gonna need to get rid of that. Make it so the zombies could more easily climb up instead of getting caught on that step. Nothing exciting in my own personal vending machine. Alright, so we're off to go get some stones. Not very exciting, but the result would be exciting to have my furnace ready to go. Of course, the weather got rough while I was out running around. So I had to grab some scrap iron too, since I needed scrap iron to repair some of my weapons and armor. Seemed like I was barely slicing them. It's more like just hitting them with a shard of metal. So I'd grab the hay bale for extra plant fibers at the base. Always useful. And in the bale format, easier to carry. Approaching friend. I kept the schematic for the furnace pin, so I knew I had enough stone to make the furnace, but I did want to have extra stone for either making some more stone blocks or maybe upgrading some wood blocks to stone, repairing some of the stone that I already had set up, so having extra wasn't bad. I stayed back that time so she couldn't clobber me as she was jumping over the rail. Alright, so I had a good amount of stone. Headed back to the base to complete the furnace. Which is made in the artisan's table. While that was cooking, I decided to make a stand for it. Kind of like it being raised up as opposed to having to bend down to take things in and out of it as I'm working on it. There's a little bit extra room there as I improved it to tier 2 and that sort of thing. There would be some room for it to expand. Alright, so the first thing you need with the furnace is the molds. There's a brick mold, a glass mold, and an ingot mold. You make all those in the campfire. It's usually just like some sand and clay or something. It's really not very complicated to make. So first I thought I'd see what kind of ingots I'd be able to make. Had some brass and very, very little iron. All I had was scrap iron, so I would need to find some iron ore. Now switching to the brick mold, I found I had quite enough to make 150 bricks, which takes about 5 bricks to make a block or to upgrade a block. So I decided to make 50 bricks to upgrade the stone we already had in the horde base. And the bricks happened to finish right before I was ready to go, so now it's time to head out and look for honey. Now, the honey was over on this side of town, and my next mission was completely on the opposite side of town, so I decided to commit to the honey. It was really important right now. You know, of course, if I stumble across antibiotics, that'd be great, but as it was, I was hoping I could find, like I did the other day, another 5 bottles of honey, 3 jars of honey, just quite a bit of honey to help get this infection down or gone. Basically had it since day 1, I think, so I think I would be surprised if I didn't have the Stam regen penalty for a change. Probably feel weird. As usual, I was checking every newspaper stand and mailbox and found the schematic for the Taylor station. So I was only short a couple things for making the the Taylor station schematic myself. So I'm very fortunate that I was short a little bit of scrap iron, or I would have made it and completely wasted my time, effort, and materials. So always good to find a schematic out in the field. Saves you a lot of time, effort, and resources. Right, so as I was looking around for this beekeeper's house, stumbled across one of my favorite zombies, the spider zombie. I hate almost as much as the tourist. And of course, shooting my gun attracted some other zombies. It was taking 10 slashes to take down a zombie. And that was with the bleed helping out also. Multiple bleeds helping out also. So I really needed a better weapon. So after quite a while of wandering around, by about 5 p.m., I found the house finally. This was it. It had the beehive structures in the back. And in the front was obviously some sort of honey stand. So I would check the honey stand first, see if there's anything in there. Every time I found one of these medical piles, I was hoping there'd be some antibiotics of some sort, either herbal or just regular. But yeah, started right off. Tree stump right in the front. And it wasn't a situation where like some tree stumps would have honey and some wouldn't. All tree stumps had honey. And then also when it's another schematic for me to scrap. As I got the honey out of that tree stump, I also happened to get a bee. And that made me remember that now we were able to make our own beehives. So I would have to look into that. With my own beehive, I might actually be able to recover from this infection finally. The 3 zombies surprised me. Two of them very fast. But they're not feral, just running. So took care of them pretty quick. I did take a little while to go around the outside of the house in the yard and did not find any tree stumps out there. They were all within the yard of this house, so I had to go through it. Ooh, that was quite a fall. Seems to be a place where the zombies kind of spring out at you in every room. Taking a few hits on this one too. I was lucky these zombies weren't feral. Took like 3 or 4 solid hits from them. Again, looking around, I really wish I had a wrench for wrenching the beds, wrenching the electronics, but not yet. Keep on looking. Did get the book for recovering brass from doorknobs, which is good. Now often I'll just pick the locks on the door to get through, but with that book I might be more just axing through. Get that brass. Which of course I would need the recycle station in order to grind the doorknobs down into brass. So keep that in mind too. Food was good. No coffee. Always check the sinks first. Under the sinks is a pretty common place to find a wrench. A lot of these doors in this place were already open, so not a lot to loot in the kitchen. Head out to the back. Could hear the crickets chirping, so I knew it was after 7 p.m. But in the end, I needed the honey from this place, so I was staying here until nightfall if I had to. Every now and then getting the bleed out is nice. I'll take a few swipes at a zombie, get a good few stacks of bleeding on them, and then, you know, turn away or go do something else and they drop over from the bleed out. This was really great. Of course, one antibiotic could take care of as much as 5 jars of honey, but no antibiotics. Makes me wish there was a Trader Jen nearby. Not bad. I was really collecting the honey. It's 5 honeycomb per jar, and I had 14, so I had not quite enough for 3 jars. Really wasn't much, but every little bit helps, I guess. So some weird shadow there. And since this guy was peeking his head through the door, let's go ahead and carve him up through the door. Wasn't a lot in here. Some clay pallets and some hay bales. Not a whole whole lot to loot, which was fine because I really needed to get moving. It was already 8 o'clock. Decided to grab this toolbox for the iron. Thought I could scrap it, I couldn't, so at some point I'd drop it down and take care of it with the pick. Glad I took care of him pretty quick because I was stuck in a corner. Which is good. A lot of great loot down here. And grabbed a little bit more scrap iron. Ileania's locket map. I was familiar with Ileania's locket. And there we had the blacksmith forge schematic. Again, something that I was very close to being able to make when I was back at home, but would have been a waste of time, effort, and materials for me to do so since I found the schematic. So 2 of the benches I was looking to make, the tailor station and the blacksmith forge, I'd found the schematics for, plus at least 15 honeycomb for making 3 jars of honey. So the day having been a success, I decided to rush home, take some coffee for to help with my stamina. I mean, it was amazing how much almost exactly I'll learn the mushroom seed recipe. It's amazing how much almost exactly like mimicking the time frame from last night I was. It was almost 9:30. I was fairly close to home, but didn't know if I wanted to take a chance last night, but I knew I wanted to do it tonight. I wanted to get home. I had to work on these new workbenches, be safe behind my horde base. "9:40 p.m. and I'm going by the farm where I decided to stop last night, not realizing how close I was to my home base, so I decided to keep on going. Gonna get a little more iron. There it is, 9:50. And now with my new ladder system, all I had to do was go around the side and I could hop right up and in. Look at that, I so could have made that last night. Oh well. There we go. It was nightfall, and I was safely within the base. I wanted to take out this little frame because squeezing through it was getting to be a pain, but then discovered it actually gives a good amount of scrap iron, so that was good. I started putting all my stuff away. Decided to go ahead and make the honey first, get that out of the way. That would take my infection down by 15%. I was hovering around 40%. Well, if I could make these beehives, or I can't remember what they're called, I think it's an apiary, then I could make all the honey that I could need to get myself cured up. It's good to be back home again. So I took a look, and to make the apiary, the ingredients weren't that bad. I had pretty much all the ingredients, so I could make some more planks. But it was made in a carpenter's bench tier 2, which I was not up to yet. So I grabbed some materials for repairing and upgrading the horde base section. Whoops. That was a really horde warbling by. Decided to upgrade a little bit of the horde base right away, considering there were quite large numbers there. Decided to use the shotgun to clear up the masses a little bit. I think I was just going to get rid of that door. Maybe that would be the first door that I would get my brass doorknob benefit from, because the door was just a pain in the ass. There she was. That girl just jumped. She jumped on that guy's shoulders and somehow got up and over. I was wondering how she did that. Yeah, I had made the opening there with one block higher, so that if they got on each other's shoulders, they couldn't step up over it. But they could get on each other's shoulders and jump up and over it. So I really need to fill that in up to the roof. Or to the ceiling. Yeah, so my plan there was to get rid of that stairway. It was already down in strength by half. Get rid of that stairway and put an open stairway with no railing, so the zombies wouldn't get caught up on that. That was the second level I'd gone up that day. Happy about that. So upgraded all I could to brick. Now I don't think I would be up to making a cement mixer anytime soon, but at least if I bought some cement, I'd be able to upgrade a good chunk of the base, or of the horde base. Alright, so next up was to check to see if I had the materials to make either of the other benches. And as far as the Taylor bench, I did have the materials for that. Decided to go ahead and open up and look at the Eliana's Locket map. and it ended up being quite close, really. It's about as far away as the mission was, or as the trader. So I decided to start off by crafting the tailoring, or the tailor station. Get myself some pockets for allowing me to carry a little bit more. Get that out of the way. I didn't have any of the other special pockets, any of the armor pocket mods or the double pocket mods. So I just decided to start off with the regular single pocket mods. Got those started. Just to double check, I have 3 pieces of clothing, 1 pocket for my pants, the shirt, and the jacket. So make sure I made 3 of the pockets. And then I went to sleep in preparation for day 10.